The hip-hop scene has always encompassed more than just music. It revolves around status, power, and control. For Drake, the nominations for this year's BET Awards represent a significant challenge. The pressure has never been greater. After years of leading the rap industry, can he maintain his position at the top, or is this the start of the decline of his reign? As news of the nominations spread on social media, Drake remained in solitude at his mansion in Toronto. The once confident, Six God, known for his swagger and relentless work ethic, found himself deep in thought, reflecting on the unexpected challenges life had presented him. The 2025 BET Award nominations were out, and the reality of the situation began to weigh heavily on him. Welcome to Celebrity Cookies, where the tea is always hot and the stories come with sprinkles of surprise. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment with your take on the story. He received multiple nominations, but the most crucial one was for Best Male Hip-Hop Artist, a category he had dominated for years, consistently winning awards and establishing himself as the leading figure in rap. However, this year, he faced stiff competition from Kendrick Lamar. Although the nominations had just been revealed, the overwhelming influx of messages, memes, and discussions from fans, critics, and fellow artists indicated that Kendrick Lamar was the frontrunner. The Compton rapper had an impressive 10 nominations, including Best Male Hip-Hop Artist, and many viewed him as the likely winner of the evening's top honors. For Drake, this was more than just a contest. It served as a stark reminder that his position was being challenged. Lamar's recent album, GNX, had proven to be a transformative success. It resonated with both fans and critics, showcasing his talent for merging personal stories with impactful social commentary, positioning him to excel not only at the BET Awards but also in broader cultural discussions. In contrast, Drake's album, /$own $Dollarexy $Dollarons for You, while commercially successful, received mixed reviews. Despite featuring hit songs and high-profile collaborations, some critics questioned whether he still possessed the same influence. Was he still the powerhouse he once was, or was the music industry moving on without him? As Drake browsed through his phone, he felt the pressure building. The comments, the direct messages, the constant comparisons to Lamar, it was inescapable. This competition wasn't just a single event. It felt like the pinnacle of his entire career. His legacy, reputation, and everything he had achieved in hip-hop were now at stake. "Is this it?" he murmured to himself. "Am I still the king, or have I lost my crown?" Doubt not at him. This wasn't merely about awards. It was something much deeper. The music industry had always gauged your value by your relevance and your ability to remain at the top. At this moment, Drake was questioning whether he had lost that edge. The world had witnessed his peak, but what happens when that peak begins to diminish? A few years back, no one would have dared to challenge his status in rap. He had the hits, the accolades, and a loyal fan base. But now, with Lamar's relentless lyrical brilliance and cultural influence, the narrative was changing. Drake's own lyrical skills had once been unparalleled, but Lamar's verses were sharp, incisive, and resonated deeply in today's cultural landscape. While Drake's style had evolved into a mix of rap and R&B, Lamar had remained true to his roots, consistently pushing boundaries in content and artistry. The difference between them was clear. Drake ran his fingers through his hair, trying to concentrate. His phone buzzed with more notifications, but he couldn't bring himself to look at them. Instead, he reclined on his couch, lost in contemplation. Was this just a temporary situation? Would this be another year where he left the BET Awards with his head held high, the crowd chanting his name as the undisputed champion? Or was this the beginning of a downward spiral? His thoughts drifted back to the start of his career. He had risen from modest beginnings in Toronto, rapping about heartbreak and ambition, working his way to success. Initially, the industry had doubted him. No one believed a former child actor turned rapper could last. But he had repeatedly proven them wrong. Now, at the height of his career, the thought of losing that position felt like a nightmare. The idea of being outshined by Kendrick Lamar unsettled him. Lamar was more than just a rapper, he was a voice for many. His music resonated with people in a way that few could replicate. It wasn't just about catchy hooks or dance tracks. Lamar's songs had substance. They conveyed messages and provoked thought. And as much as Drake hated to acknowledge it, Lamar had a knack for capturing the cultural moment in a way he hadn't managed to in recent years. Drake had always focused on the present moment, with an unparalleled knack for creating catchy hooks that got people dancing. However, with artists like Lamar emerging to address real-world issues in their music, it appeared that the landscape was shifting. Rap was evolving from merely showcasing the hottest tracks to emphasizing meaningful messages. Was Drake still relevant in an era dominated by rappers like Lamar, who were shaping the conversation? Or was he becoming a relic of the past? The BET Awards were just the beginning of the scrutiny. The real question loomed: could he adapt to the changing times, or was he fated to be left behind? As the days leading up to the awards ceremony passed, Drake's anxiety intensified. He was aware that the public was anticipating a clash. Fans of both artists were already polarized, with heated discussions about who would emerge victorious flooding social media. Everyone had an opinion, and many had already chosen their champion. A loss to Lamar wouldn't just be a setback for the evening, it would be a significant blow to his career, signaling that his reign at the top might be ending. Yet, as he sat in the quiet of his home, surrounded by accolades and platinum records, Drake pondered whether the true pain lay not in defeat, but in the realization that he might no longer be the undisputed king. Perhaps Lamar had surpassed him in ways he couldn't control. His thoughts shifted to his fans, who had supported him through his journey from Degrassi to his rise in the rap world. Could they still view him as the same artist they once admired? Or had he become a caricature of himself, chasing trends and collaborations to remain relevant while Lamar remained authentic to his art? Drake's career had always been about transformation. He was the artist adept at shifting between genres: rap, R&B, pop, and hip-hop, keeping his audience engaged. But now, that versatility felt like a double-edged sword. Was it the reason he had lost his edge, or was it simply a reflection of the changing times? When the night of the BET Awards arrived, Drake was still in turmoil. Entering the Peacock Theater, his usual confidence was overshadowed by unease. The red carpet was filled with familiar faces, but they seemed insignificant compared to the impending confrontation with Lamar, where everything might change. As the Best Male Hip-Hop Artist category was announced, the room fell silent, knowing this was the pivotal moment. Kendrick Lamar's name was called first, and the applause was thunderous, with the crowd rising to their feet. Then, the camera panned to Drake, capturing a blend of determination and anxiety on his face. This was it, the moment of truth. When the winner was revealed, Drake couldn't process the announcement. His thoughts were racing, and for a brief moment, it felt like time had slowed. The tension in the air was intense. When Kendrick Lamar rang out from the speakers, Drake felt his heart drop. The audience erupted in applause, but for him, it felt like a punch to the gut. The hurt wasn't just from losing, it was the realization that he had fallen from his top position. The king had lost his crown. As Lamar went up to accept his award, Drake could only observe from the sidelines, contemplating what his future held in a landscape where he was no longer the focal point. His career wasn't finished, but that night marked a shift. The future seemed unclear, and for the first time in years, Drake found himself doubting everything. What would his next move be? Would he evolve, or would he become just another figure from hip-hop's history? The world would have to wait to see what happened next. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on the story.